Good afternoon, Sonu. Thank you so much for reaching out and wanting to have this conversation with me today. I am really excited and very happy to meet you. Wish you a happy Sunday. And let's start with how are you doing and how are you feeling this morning?
Same to you. Good afternoon to you, ma'am, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to interact with you. And I'm really flabbergasted to be here. Thank you very
Hmm.
much for this, for your precious time. Yeah.
Wonderful,
And first of
wonderful. You're
all, I
most
would like
welcome.
you to introduce yourself first of all for my viewer, so that they can know about yourself. Yeah, and then I will be also
Absolutely.
going for my introduction.
Absolutely. So, as you already know, my name is Morria. I am from Pune. I was born and raised in Kolkata, but I have been staying in Pune for the last almost 10 years. I have a total corporate work experience of about 12 years now. And since last year, I am working, for myself and on myself. I am very new to YouTube, and the YouTube journey has been about 5 months old, and it has been absolutely amazing. I keep meeting and interacting with interesting people like you every day, and that is a very rewarding part of it. Whenever I get some free time, I love to travel. I love cooking and I spend a lot of time with my friends and family. And
Yeah.
by profession, I am a certified communication coach. I am a TEFL certified spoken English trainer. I'm also a soft skills trainer and I'm also a certified life coach. So that's a little bit about me. If you have any specific questions, I would be happy to answer them for you.
Thank you very much for your brief introduction, ma'am. And now I would like to introduce myself for you. So as you
Sure.
can see that my name is Sonu and I'm calling from India, Bihar. At the current time, I'm staying in Bihar. I was born and brought up here. And by profession, I am a language trainer. I do train students and working professionals as well. So I'm an
Mm-hmm.
unofficial language trainer. Right now, I'm working in an institute where I'm training the students or working professionals to improve their English language. And
Mm-hmm.
simultaneously, I'm also studying. I'm pursuing for my graduation. It's my last year going on, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested connecting with stranger or knowing about their culture or connecting with different kind
Mm-hmm.
of people from different kind of place. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that's all about myself, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. That is great. So, Sonu, this is very interesting. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how you decided and what made you think that, you can be great at language training?
So actually, ma'am, since my childhood, I was interested in English language, and I had a bit imbalance
Mhm.
at my home of English language because my father was an English teacher in his past time, but now he is not teaching so far. So he has insisted me so many times, why don't you to speak in an English? If he used to give me some of the lessons in my home to study in English. So that made me to speak in an English because I was having the
Mm.
imbalance. My father used to ask me some of the questions in English language. How are you? What are you
Mm.
doing? Like this kind of questions. So that
Right.
made me enthusiastic, or that has
Mm.
influenced me to go deeper in English language and explore the language. Or so it was kind of interest for me that I started being indulging myself in this particular thing. And now I think that I'm still in the process to improvise it or having the intellectuality over it. Yeah, and it has been 3 years that I have been exponentially working over my language, and still I'm working. So
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. It is wonderful that you realize that, there is still scope that you can improve on, areas that you need to work on, and you are already working on it. That is wonderful. But I'm curious to know, Soto, you have a slight bit of accent that you are trying to bring in when you are speaking. Where did that come from, and why are you trying to speak with an accent?
Actually, ma'am, I just want to add some speciality in in my pronunciation. I can say that it's a kind of accent that I am trying
Mm-hmm.
to add in my whenever I interact with the people. So I'm just shadowing the people. I'm just shadowing the native speaker. the way they speak,
Hmm.
the way their body language, the way they stretch the words. So I'm just shadowing them at them and trying to be like them. That's all. There is
Hmm.
nothing
Okay.
extraordinary things that I am containing with my personality or with my communication skill. I'm just trying to be like them,
Hmm.
and yeah, yeah. In order to become
Okay,
fluent, yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
Sonu, what I wanted to share with you, just a quick piece of advice since I have been in this space for a few years now, and I have observed quite a few things. Now, when you talk about shadowing native speakers, right? Now, native speakers, if you are shadowing them, it's great because they are uh, good at expressing themselves. They are good with their phrases. They are good with the kind of responses that they give out. However, when it comes to their accent, okay, it's important to understand that pronunciation of words, clear pronunciation of words, and accent are two different things. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in India, you must have noticed that by the way people speak, by the way in which they are, framing their sentences, or their accent, or their MTI, what we call it, mother tongue influence, the way they
Influence, yeah,
speak English, we can figure out that, okay, this person is from a specific part of the country and the other person is from a different part of the country. And that we
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
figure out by the way that they are speaking, right?
You can,
Now, if you talk about native speakers, accent is nothing but their MTI. From the place that they are coming from, they come up with an accent from there, right? So if you are trying to shadow native speakers, pay attention to pronunciation of certain words, whether you are pronouncing them correctly or not. But
yeah,
do not pick up any accent, because what it does is, first, it never comes to you naturally. It always comes across as something which is forced, something that you are trying to put up, that you are not comfortable with. And
yeah,
it is not even required globally. The main thing that you should focus on is, am I speaking correct, simple, concise English, and am I pronouncing my words correctly, so that the other person or the people who are listening to me, are they able to hear me, are they able to understand me properly,
understand me, yeah,
right? So that is the whole essence of the language, and that is what makes it easy for everybody to understand. Okay, so that is one piece of advice. If you are, following or shadowing native speakers, it
yeah,
is great because they have excellent ways of expressing themselves. The kind
yeah,
of phrases they use, the kind of comparisons that they use, the kind of quick responses that they come up with is definitely amazing. But try and stay away from the accent. Rather, try and pick up the right kind of pronunciation. That is really going
yeah,
to be helpful for the entire life, for your career, and for
yeah.
everything that you are aiming to do in life.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I'm
You're most
astonished to
welcome.
hear from you this kind of advice that I can say, and you are prescribing me not to uh, grab their accent. If you will grab
Mm,
them, it your mother tongue influence somewhere will come in your way while speaking or delivering your
yes,
speech or expressing
yes.
yourself. So yeah, I have also faced that in my way of speaking many times. But now these days, I'm
Mm,
think it has been 3 year, and I am now these days a bit habituated that somewhere
mm,
I'm trying to abstain. Somewhere I'm trying to abstain my mother tongue
mm.
influence, which comes in the way of speaking or delivering. The
Correct,
people people I'm interacting can easily recognize me from where I belong to. Right, if
correct.
I'm trying to add if I'm trying to add the accent to hide
Mm,
to hide my to hide that I belong to India or I belong to
mm,
this specific place. So
mm.
I'm not doing that exactly because people are
Correct.
able to recognize me that I belong to India.
Mm,
And
right.
but yeah, they may think that I may have stayed in USA or I may have stayed in
Mm.
America. That's why I'm speaking like that. Yeah, yeah, they may think like
Right,
that,
right.
but they cannot
Mm.
I cannot let them prove that I belong to here or
Of
this specific
course.
like, yeah, because they can
Yes, yes.
understand. Yeah, because of the body language, face expressions. Yeah, sometimes we, the people, uses filler, like, we cannot stop ourselves in a just short time to not to use the filler.
Hmm.
It
Correct.
automatically
Yeah.
comes. Yeah.
Correct.
So
Yes.
yeah, I really appreciate
Okay.
your,
Good.
and I take that
Mm.
positively. I take that, and definitely I will try to work on that. Many of the people have prescribed me not to
Mm.
contain the accent which I'm using right now.
Mm.
But
Correct.
what happens with me, that most of the time I'm fond of listening the people from America or native
Hmm.
speaker. So that automatically comes in my way whenever I speak or their
Hmm.
pronunciation, because I like the way the native speaker speak. Because most of the time, the fundamental which I'm implying over myself, that people, in order to speak in English, follow LSRW, but I just made
Hmm.
that KISS. Keep it simple and short. So I just
Hmm.
listen and speak more. So in listening, I don't try to listen the people who are not native speaker. I just listen the native speaker with whom I can grab many more vocabularies, idiomatic expressions, and many more things from them, because
Hmm.
they are kind of expert of this particular thing. Because
Hmm.
we are learning the spoken part, so from there I can only grab through the grammar.
Hmm.
Going through all these steps, we cannot learn English language. We need to focus on the way how they are speaking. They have not gone through the grammar. The Indians, the way we speak in Hindi, we have not gone through all the parts of vyakaran or grammar of Hindi, but we know how to communicate in Hindi in a well manner. So they are also speaking like them. So I just gone through the shadowing or being imposter of them, I can say. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. If it works for you, great. However, when it comes to keep it short and simple, that's a principle of communication and not of the English language. So when you talk about English language and if you're learning something, as you say, like, if you look at native speakers, they don't always speak correct English. Speaking English or just being able to put across your thoughts and speaking correct English are two different things. Now, it is for an individual to decide whether you want to know something correctly or you just want to do something by, looking at somebody else who is also doing it incorrectly. That is
Yeah.
something that every individual, every learner has their own way to look at, and they will be the best judge to understand what works for them and what is their need in life. However, since you said that you are a language trainer, then for you, it is, of course, compulsory and mandatory that you know everything about the language. Only then you become a trainer, right? That
Yeah.
is an integral part of somebody who wants to train others, right? So that is something that you definitely should consider.
Recently, ma'am, I've joined the institute where I am working as a language trainer, and I am having the desire to start my own institution in the coming time.
Mm,
That is
mm,
why I thought, why not to join institute for having experience of some months, and then I will become a bit confident with my intuitions, and then I will be starting there. Because running an institute, it's mean containing a bit responsibilities of the students' future. I don't want to play with the future of the students, first of all,
right. Yeah,
because
of
yeah.
course.
So before that, I thought, why not to experience myself, why not to find a glitch
Good.
in myself,
Mm,
where I'm stucking myself, where I am liking. So I have to eradicate
mm,
all those flaws in myself, and then I will be doing
mm.
all those things. So yeah.
Wonderful. That's a very good way to look at it, and good that you are on that path already. Wonderful job. All right. So, Sonu, do you have any questions that you would want to ask me today?
Yeah, I have flooded of the question, I can say. So being a lady, how did you learn the language, and um, how difficult it was for you? Because it people find it very difficult for themselves. Many of the people out there who find it
Mhm.
very difficult for them to improvise this language. So for you, how you just improve the language, and what kind of
So,
obstacles and situations or that you have faced in your past time in order to amplify the language? Yeah.
Okay. Interestingly, I'm fortunate enough to be from a place, to be from a background, and to be from a family where being a lady or a man never mattered. So that is something that I'm really fortunate about. And being from Bengal, like we have that, we have that certain, I would say, tradition that, studies and extracurriculars, they come first for every child irrespective of their gender. And I feel very blessed that I got that opportunity since the first day of my school. My parents were very particular about getting me admitted in an English medium school, because it was my parents who, back in 1991, when I started my schooling in nursery, the only thing they had in mind was, English is the language of tomorrow, and you need to know the language, or our daughter need to be able to have fluent communication in English, because by the time she grows up, English is going to be the language that is spoken everywhere. And that is what has happened. So I was fortunate enough that my parents had that thought at that time. And since my childhood, English was my favorite language, thanks to the wonderful tutors and school teachers that I had. I looked up to each and every English teacher that I had throughout my school life. All of them were wonderful ladies again, and they were great with English. So they were my inspirations at that point in time, that I was so drawn to the language. I was great with grammar. I was great with literature. I loved reading literature. So I was always surrounded with the language. Um, the thing which I realized when I went to college is that although, I have loved the language so much, but I have never really spoken the language much. So then when I was having conversations with people when I went to college, that's when I started facing issues with fluent communication, because English was, although the language that I knew, but I never spoke the language much.
Yeah, the way you have said about it doesn't matter whether you are a man or woman for the learning for language, right? But
Of
ma'am,
course.
why I did ask that specific questions, that being a woman, how did you learn the language? So what in the area where I'm staying, I come from Bihar.
Hmm.
So here, women are deprived from their needs.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
they are the things, if many things are indispensable for the women, they are deprived from their needs, they are not
Of
being
course.
provided the
Yes.
facilities, especially for the women I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Men's are like, we the people stays in a society which is known as patriarchy society. you know People
Hmm.
have the conservative mindset. They are the patriarchy society. The patriarchy society is something where men's power is considered.
Hmm.
Women's are not prioritized. Women's
Hmm.
are deprived from their needs and from their requirement whatsoever they are required. Like, women's are not being educated. They are not investing the money to the education of women, but the men's are being provided all those facilities. Like,
Hmm.
a daughter, they are not educating their daughter, but they are educating their son with the mindset,
Hmm.
the daughter will get married one day, but my son will stay with her forever till our last breath. So this is the kind of mindset in the people's mind. That is why I had to use that specific phrase, that being a lady, how difficult it was for
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
to improve the language. But
Right,
yeah,
and that's why I said that, I was fortunate that I was born in that part, and I was born in such a family. Because of course
yeah,
we all know that there are a lot of places even today, that where there is so much of patriarchy, and where people have still not been able to come up to the level that they realize that it's 2025, and times have changed. People are still in their thought, in their mind, they're probably in the 80s or in the 70s, right? So the thing that is important to understand here, Sonu, is society as such is not a living thing that can do something. It is
yeah,
every individual, it is people in the society that can bring about a difference. So instead of, what people do generally in our society is they start blaming it on the society without realizing the fact that they are the very part of that society. And if they don't change, nothing around them is going to change. Everybody
yeah,
wants to stay in their comfort zone. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's high time that people start thinking from their own houses that, okay, this is our house. I need to realize what is wrong here. I need to take charge and I need to change it. And then, if every individual household is thinking that way, only
yeah.
then there can be a reform or a transformation in the
Yeah, yeah.
society. And there
And
is no
people
other
will
way.
also, yeah, and people will also become influenced by those people who are accepting these kind of changes in their life. If
Absolutely.
they will start educating their daughter or son, or if they will not try to discriminate in their house,
Mm,
the people
mm,
out there will also get influenced, or they will see
absolutely.
the, atmosphere. As we know that atmosphere plays a vital role in humans' life.
Mm,
So that will be also kind of atmosphere around them.
absolutely.
They are
Yes.
treating their daughter in that manner. If they are sending
Mm,
their daughter to a reputed college, or investing the money as it is,
mm,
as they are investing the money on their son. So if they will not discriminate, so I think everybody will start doing that good things.
absolutely.
But here,
That is true.
here it's a viral problem, as I have personally felt and observed in my
Mm,
society, in the village area, like in Bihar, UP. These are the
correct.
areas are still considered backward in some manner, especially talking
Mm,
about education or the mindset of the people, like the
mm,
way they thinks about boys and girls and women's are also molested here in some manners, in
mm,
such manners. Like there are some of the examples, as you know, women's in what kind of manners women's are deprived, or they do not prioritize the women. They do not let the women to sit on the first chair. You know, uh, they just
mm,
they just think men's will be provided the first chair, but women's will always, you know.
mm,
Um, find ridiculous. So I bit find it's ridiculous. We should not
mm,
discriminate
absolutely.
between the male and female,
Mm,
and racism. And if I will
right.
talk you about racism and caste, so this is also here in top. Like people will boast you or appreciate you on behalf of your racism, on behalf of your money, or the
Mm,
ambience you belong to, or the family you belong to, you know or the
mm,
position you are containing with your personality. So
mm,
these are the conservative mindset here that I have faced,
mm.
yeah, and
So yeah,
experiencing that.
there are a lot of things like this that is there at different levels of the society, and it's not that cities are completely unaware of these things. There are a lot of things in cities, also in metropolitan cities, that we see there are a lot of terrible incidents that are happening in metropolitan cities as well. So it is, as I say, it has got nothing to do with a place. It has got everything to do with people and their mindset and what kind of people they are. So I think you are doing a fantastic job, Sonu, that you are talking about these things, you are bringing up these topics, and you are, pointing out the issues in the society. I think that is something which is great. You being a trainer, if you are in that position that you can speak to people and you can influence them and help them develop the right kind of mindset, that is a wonderful thing to do. And it's great that you are doing it. And I thoroughly enjoyed having this conversation with you today. It was very nice. And I really liked to see the mindset that you have and the kind of thoughts that you are putting across. So absolutely enjoyed it. In future, again, probably we will catch up once again and we will discuss something more on that day. However, thank you for your time today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope you also enjoyed the discussion.
Yeah, it was flabbergasted to talk to you, ma'am. I'm also enjoying the session with you, and you are asking the questions and you're collaborating with me. So, and the vibrance and the fragrance that is coming from your side, that you want to listen me, or I want to listen you. So yeah, I'm also enjoying this conversation, and thank you for
Wonderful.
investing your precious time. Yeah, I have been
Wonderful.
watching you over the YouTube since a long time back, and I was also
Hmm.
deciding why not to connect with her, because uh, I really like the way you contain your personality,
Thank you.
and the way you speak. It's really supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sonu. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself, and we will
Yeah,
meet
so
again soon.
yeah, before going, ma'am, I want
Mhm.
you to give me a one advice for myself, which can be
Mhm.
benevolent for my future. Yeah, I have the kind of habit to get the advice from every person I've met. So yeah, it's kind of things that I like to take. Yeah,
Wonderful. So the only advice that I will tell you is, do not change your goal, or do not change the way you think, or do not change the way you, want to live your life, compromising on your own happiness for anybody else in the world, no matter if the whole world is against you. Don't change the things that you believe in for that. And you know focus on being an excellent trainer, because I think you have the qualities to be an excellent trainer. And for that, always keep in mind that a trainer themselves needs to keep updating themselves from time to time. They
yeah,
need to work a lot on their own self. They need to always keep looking at the different ways that they can benefit their learners. So make
yeah,
that your priority. And learning is a never ending process. Till the last
yeah,
day of your life, you will learn something or the other. So be
yeah.
open to that and keep that wonderful smiling face, that face of yours, always like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Ma'am, make sure that it's my initial time, like interacting with the camera. I'm not habited interacting with the camera,
Mm.
or I think it has been a month or 2 months that I am trying to become familiar with the camera first of all. So yeah,
Mm.
you maybe find the body language, or I'm not so far able to make eye contact in a well manner, but yeah, it's my initial time. Yeah, and
Wonderful.
I'm
Yeah.
improvising myself. I'm becoming habituated with camera first of all. So yeah, you
Good.
may
Good.
have find some glitch in me. Yeah,
Of course. So that is what I'm saying, that you will learn, you will do great. Just keep an open mind for that. But I think for your initial days, you are doing wonderful. You are doing great with the camera. Just keep your confidence up. Yeah.
thank you very much for your kind
All right.
information, ma'am. It was really informative for me, and definitely I will follow all the instructions which you have given through your experiences. Thank you
All
very much.
right. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sonu. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you very much, ma'am.